This video is going to provide you with an overview of the navigation of the My Data Diary Plus tool. When you come into My Data Diary Plus, you will come into the Table of Contents view. This Table of Contents view starts with easy to navigate icons for each section: personal, password, household, health, financial, legal, and legacy planning. It will also take you to an additional section at the bottom where you can manage individual types of content. You can also scroll down the entire table of contents simply by moving the scroll bar. And as you move that scroll bar down, you can see that there are multiple pages in most sections. You can see that inside of each section with many pages, you have the opportunity to leave notes for yourself, indicating something you might need to remember to do, indicate the status of an individual page, complete, needs update, or do not need, and also know the last date that that page was updated, which is important for you and your care companions to keep track of how current the information is in your tool. When you scroll down to the very bottom of the page, you will find content management, where you can see all addresses, all emails, all phone numbers, and all vendors or service providers that have been added into your tool. Let's take a look. When you come into this view, you can see all of the names, addresses, city, and state for each of these. If you need more details, you can expand an initial record. If you want to expand all, you can use this expand all button, which you will find on most pages where there are multiple records, or collapse all. When you're in this table view, you can also use the sort buttons, display name, or address. Anywhere you see this address or this arrow button, you can sort by display name. We'll go back to alphabetical, and you can find a particular record by typing in that record here, and it will bring anything that matches that record type here, and you can clear from there. So that gives you an idea of how these various controls work at the top of these tabs. Let's orient you, however, to the left menu bar at this point. If you go to the left menu bar, you can see you have instructions, which is a getting started guide. You can open any individual section or multiple sections, and then print whatever portions of this you want by clicking on the print button here, which will take you to the standard print screen that you are accustomed to. I'm going to cancel this one. It will tell me there was an error because I canceled. I can also save to PDF, and it will give me the opportunity to identify where I want to save it, the default location being the document transfer folder on your My Data Diary drive. I'll go ahead and save this. It'll take a moment to save that document. We'll give you a PDF saved confirmation. And now if I go into that document transfer folder, I can open that document that I saved. I can then email it, print it, save it, keep it as an electronic copy. Frequently asked questions works similarly to the Getting Started guide, but I want to show you the icon glossary. And you may wish to print this particular page so that you have a glossary of the various icons you will see throughout the tool: tool navigation, record navigation, data entry, and data management. Many of them are self-explanatory and should be very similar to what you're used to seeing in other applications. This icon here will take you to the last page you were on. If I've scrolled way down to the bottom of this page, the up arrow will take you back to the top of that page. The back arrow will take you to the previous page. So that's what you will find in the instructions section. In the settings section, you will find an opportunity to manage your profiles. In this case, you have 3 profiles: Jim, Mary, and Ashton. Ashton is not considered a dependent child in this case because she is living with her grandparents, but her parents are still responsible for her, even though they live in another state. Again, you can see the expand all, collapse all control. And if you needed to add another record, the add new record button you will find on all pages is this green plus sign. In the Preferences section, you will see Show Custom Data and Show Archive Data. The default setting when you receive your tool for these is set to No. Please watch the Custom Data and Archiving Data tutorials before you decide to change these to Yes. Once you understand how these controls are used, you will find them very valuable, and I encourage you to determine what works best for you. The default zoom level is set at 1.2, but this allows you to change how much of the screen you see by increasing or decreasing the zoom level. I like 1.2 for this purposes. Security is where you would manage your password and recovery questions that you set for the My Data Diary Plus tool. Watch the tutorial on managing your passwords for additional information, but if you want to change your password, this is where you come to do that. And finally, license management is where you can check to make sure you have the latest version of the tool. In this case, we certainly do. It tells you what license you have and what your activation date was for that license. Printing and sharing. This is where you can come to create custom reports. There's a tutorial on custom reports. And here is where you can come in to see all of the documents that you have added to your document library. When you see this tab structure at the top, you can see that in this view, I'm showing all documents. This is the view for just personal documents, documents that you've loaded into the personal information section. This is household, health. Again, like all other controls, you can expand all to see the information around where that you have entered around the original document location, the document date, and whether that document is a legal document. I'm going to collapse all and take a look at this one document here. If this is the View button for a document, it will give you a preview of that document. And here is where you would download that document. Again, this download will save it into that same Documents folder that we showed you earlier. And there it is. The three dots here will indicate that there are additional items that you can do with that record. In this case, we could delete this record. Please note that any documents that you delete are permanently deleted from the My Data Diary tool. In this case, you can actually create a document report if you wanted. Let's find all Social Security cards. Let's see here, I need to go back to all. And I know that I've named these as SS. So I have Social Security cards for Ashton, Jim, and Mary. So I'm going to highlight those three, create a document report, and then I have all three Social Security cards. Make sure you use the Close Report button, as this will actually close the tool. Okay, your database backup. Please see the tutorial on how to use the database backup and recovery file information. And the import-export data will be used primarily for uploading your personal passwords for websites and other locations. There's a tutorial for that as well. So now that we've oriented you to the left navigation bar, I'm going to go back to the table of contents and show you various ways to navigate the table of contents. We started by showing you that you can scroll down the table of contents. You can also go to any individual section by clicking on the tile, and it will simplify the view and show you just the pages in that section. From there, you can click into any individual page. You can expand all records or close records, and records that have been associated to individuals. So in this case, I've associated this particular record to Jim and Mary. I'm going to go back to the top and close this one. If I select just Jim, I'm going to see that I have Jim and Mary attached to um, all three records in this properties and assets. But if I select Ashton only, she is only associated with this particular record, which is the home they live in, because she has nothing to do with the other two properties. So this is the control you use at the top to select individual records related to only a particular person. Please note that if a record is not associated with anyone, if you don't show it, it will not show. If you don't have these clicked, it will not show. All right, so now I'm going to go back to the previous page or back to the table of contents. And you can see that I can also navigate to that same view by clicking the left navigation bar here to get to that household section. So there's many ways to navigate to that individual section and any individual page. You can open and close, go to content management, and you'll find again that all of the controls look very similar. On the top of each page, you'll also see the section status. This will change either from the top of this page or from the table of contents. Over here, this is your person picker, and you can see that on pages where you enter information for each person in your household, this is where you change the individual. So this is the view for Jim. Now let's show the view for Mary and for Ashton. You can also navigate to profile management directly from this person picker. Let's go back to personal and profile. I'll show you that at the top of each page, we've talked about how to print to PDF or print. You'll see there's also a save icon. The tool does save automatically after every page change, but if you've been working a lot on a particular page and you want to make sure you don't save anything, you can force a manual save by clicking that save button. As you navigate through the tool, you'll see that there are drop-down menus, free text fields where you just enter information, calendar selectors, and importantly, you will see that there are document buttons. These buttons indicate that this is where you can upload a document associated with that record. It's indicated as a document button with the paperclip attachment. And if it has an exclamation point, that's an indication that this is a document that is highly recommended for you to upload into the tool. This indicates that there is one document attached here. Let's take a look at that document by clicking on that button. You can see here the record. You can open that record and see that it's a birth certificate for Ashton. This is the document date. It's been designated as a legal document, have not indicated the original location. And so we'll put here mom and dad's house since she doesn't live with mom and dad. And you can also view that document here to get a preview of that document. You can then choose to download that document from here as well. This allows you to search for other documents. So I'm going to come in here and see, oh, well, there's a birth certificate for Ashton. It's already attached to that file. There's one for Jim, another one for Jim and Mary. If for some reason I wanted to attach another one, I would just click here and it would attach that birth certificate for Mary. If that was an error, I can just discard or delete that birth certificate here. It will only delete that birth certificate from Ashton's file because it's still associated to another record. So that's how you search for an existing file. And here's how you would attach a new document by adding a new document. And here's where you close that document file. As you move through the tool, you'll see that there are also hidden elements where we have hidden sensitive data from your screen. You can show or hide by clicking on the eyeball icon, like in other tools. And you can see that there are other buttons as you move through. If you needed to add an additional record in these cases, you would click this Add Second Passport button. Moving through the tool, you see that the controls work similarly. You'll find that Add and Search button in many cases for any type of record that you navigate. Again, you can move to the top of the page, move to the previous page, and navigate to the full table of contents very easily with the table of contents button at the left. The last section we're going to talk about today is how to search for a particular record or record type. So we're going to come right here and be in the we'll say we're in the education section, looking at information for Jim, but I want to look for where I have his social security number. So if I search for social security on this page, this control here will search the particular page that is open and all of the detailed records underneath of it. Again, let's switch to the profile page and conduct that same search. Click enter here, and you can see that it will identify that there is Social Security on this page in 3 sections. And if you scroll down, you can see that it is highlighted over here where it has found Social Security on this page. What I'm interested in looking for Jim is not just his Social Security number, but does he have a Social Security payment? And so in looking for that, what I am going to do is find here, is there another page in another section that has Social Security? So I'm going to look here and enter the keywords Social Security. And this will tell me that I will find the keyword Social Security in the personal section on the profile page, in the financial section on the retirement page, and in the legacy planning section in the pre-planning page. I'm looking for his Social Security payment, so I am going to believe it's in this retirement section, and I can click this navigate to button, and it will take me right there and show me that in fact Social Security is here. And if I needed to highlight that again, if I wanted to search individual records here, if I type Social Security up here, it will highlight here where it has found Social Security. And I can see into this record and find that in fact there is a Social Security payment on auto deposit with a particular financial institution. So if you're looking for an individual information on an individual page, you would find it by searching here. If you're looking to find particular information somewhere in the tool, you can search by keyword here. And if you're looking for a particular record in a long list of records, if I look inside this area and search for Social Security, it will limit the number of items visible in this view to that particular record. So you can see I typed in social, so it's looking Social Security. If I delete that search, it will find both. This particular find record we showed you a little bit earlier and is much more valuable when you have a long list to look through. In this case, you could have easily seen where Social Security is. So again, I'm going to navigate back to the table of contents, which is kind of your home page for the tool. I'm going to show you one more search feature when you're working with a long list of records. Let's take a look at the household vendors and providers section. And again, showing the controls you've experienced before, we can expand all, we can collapse all, we can sort by name or any of the titles at the top, service type, or description of services, however you want to sort this. But importantly, you can also group by. And when you have a long list of records, you might find a group by category at the top. At the moment, it's not grouping at all, but here we can group by category. So you'll see vendors separate from service providers, or you can group by service type, in which case you can see multiple plumbers, storage units, however you have identified the various service types. Again, if you want to go back to a non-grouped view, you can simply open to the dashes, which takes you back to an ungrouped view. Going back to the table of contents or your home page, we encourage you to take this process one section at a time, one page at a time. Determine what information you need to capture and set the goal of completing one section for your family and for your household at a time. And with a bit of focus and attention and dedicated time over 3 to 6 months, you can have all of the information for your family and your household uploaded and available in the My Data Diary Plus tool so you can begin the process of streamlining and simplifying the business of your life.